Thank you for coming to the Awaken Life podcast. I'm your host, Scott Landis. How can you live an absolutely fulfilling and purpose-filled life, maintain a passionate, intimate relationship, all while raising kids and growing multiple streams of income? That's the big question we seek to answer on this podcast by interviewing people who are already doing it. One thing we know for sure is it takes a community to do it well. So thank you for being a part of the Awaken Life community. I'm looking forward to growing with you, and on to the episode. Welcome to the Awaken Life podcast with Scott Landis, and today my guest is Jordan Nishizaki. He's the founder and CEO of Executive Creators and Diverse Network. He was born in Westerville, Ohio, raised in a Japanese-American home, a family of 5. He graduated in 2018 with a degree in finance. Jordan is focused on mentoring, inspiring, and empowering the next generation of young professionals and entrepreneurs. Jordan is about making a lasting impact and strengthening the communities he serves. Through his various experiences in the banking, digital marketing, and consulting industries, he has been able to build and grow his network and skills necessary to create positive change in his community. Jordan, thanks for being on the Awaken Life podcast.
Thank you so much, Scott, for allowing me to be on this platform and just to be able to share my story. And also shout out to Christy Yoder. Thank you so much for connecting us, for the work that you do. Would not be here without being able to have that relationship with the both of us. So thank you, Christy and Scott. I am so excited for our conversation today.
Yes, thank you, Christy. So Christy was on the podcast and she's the one who connected us. And we both have had a great time getting to know Christy. You knew her before I did, but this is a good community to be a part of.
Absolutely. And just had the blessing to get to know Christy over the past couple of years. She's a local here in Ohio. And so being able to connect with each other, and she's just an amazing human being, has built a great company and virtual assistants that help out first with Diverse Network and also then second with Executive Creators now. So being able to just get connected with amazing people and it's been a blessing for sure.
Awesome. Yeah. So what kind of stands out there is you're obviously a busy guy doing a couple of things, not exactly related, but there's some connection. So explain to us what Executive Creators and Diverse Networks is.
Absolutely. So Executive Creators is a content marketing agency that helps business owners tell their story through videos. Scott, I don't know about you, but if you've ever been able to edit a video, it takes so much time. It's so painful. And I just had one of our creators here at Executive Creators, and he told me last night, he's like, editing is my therapy. And I was like, wow, I'm glad you're on our team because editing makes me want to go to therapy. So that's why we have just an amazing people here. And it's been just such a blessing. But really the idea came from Diverse Network. And I've been on this entrepreneur journey for the past 3 years. I've always had a dream to be an entrepreneur. First started with J Nish Consulting, but that was the first business. It still exists today, but that was just my launch into this space. It's kind of just in the background, but really what launched Diverse Network is a nonprofit organization that helps find, connect, and develop top diverse talent for businesses. And so we do that through networking events, podcasts, and our community, through our programs. And so what really came out, the idea from that was, how can I connect everyone in my network to each other and to support the multicultural community here in Columbus? And so I thought, what better way than to have events? This was in the middle of COVID. So I was one of the crazy people that, wanted to have events in the middle of COVID. And I just was like, you know what? Events are happening. I need to be around people. Why not just create an organization that does that and host events? And I learned so much from it. But I was operating our podcast and events underneath J Nish Consulting, and I was inspired, like, hey, this is really more of a nonprofit because it's more focused on the community. And so that summer, after our first event, launched Diverse Network officially as a nonprofit organization in July 2021. And it's just been able to be a great journey to help out the community, to do speaking engagements, to help out the community learn how to network, build and grow their network. I realized not a lot of people know necessarily how to do that effectively. And so it's been a gift that God gave me, and how I can then go and teach others how to do the same. Because networking and the relationships that I've been able to foster and build, and not only that, but the people that God has brought into my life. And he said, Jordan, love my sheep, take care of my sheep, and be able to foster the relationships that I've blessed you with. And so by taking that mindset, it has gotten me into doors and into places that I never even thought or imagined that I could have ever been a part of. No money or degree would ever have gotten me into the doors that God has opened through the networking relationships that I've been able to foster and build over time. So through both diverse network, building out the brand, building out the marketing, doing the events, and just being able to create something that people enjoy and can resonate with, then gave me the idea of, like, I think a lot of other businesses struggle about building brands and with marketing and with media and with videos. And I just love being able to tell stories, because there's a lot of great businesses out there that have amazing stories that don't necessarily know how to tell it effectively. So that's what gave me the idea for Executive Creators. And recently, Scott, just went full-time entrepreneurship in the last couple of years. So it's been a wild journey for the past 2 to 3 years. But just over the past couple months, since June 2023, been able to be a full-time entrepreneur focusing on building and growing executive creators as well as diverse networking.
Awesome. Congratulations on that. So where did this entrepreneurial blood come from? Is it in your family? Like, are you a first generation? Like, how'd that work?
I am. And I actually, I did a little bit more research more on the Japanese side. So my dad is full Japanese, and I'm actually 4th, 5th generation Japanese American. And so I learned that Jordan Nishizaki was an entrepreneur. He was my grandfather's dad, my great grandfather, and he owned a drugstore, Nishizaki drugstore, both here in Seattle in America, as well as in Japan during World War II. And so when I learned about him through my grandfather, Akio Nishizaki, who I'm actually named after, once I learned about him, I was able to then know, like, God, that's where it came from. It came from Juan. We just lost it in the middle of World War II and kind of what happened to our family. And actually I got both perspectives because I'm half Japanese, half white. And so it's interesting to see what wars do to communities and families. Just separates and destroys everything in its way. And so that's actually what happened to my great grandfather's business. It was bombed and destroyed, and his business was attached to his home. And so the home was on the 2nd and 3rd floor. It was bombed and destroyed by U.S. bombers. And so what's actually crazy is that he was able to rebuild Nishizaki drugstore, and the building still exists today. And my grandfather, Akio, came back to America, and he actually served in the U.S. military during the Korean War. So it's just kind of just mind-blowing just how my family had a quality trait of perseverance and to never give up. And I did not grow up hating America. And just the amount of love and forgiveness that had to be passed down through my family for me not to hate anybody, and just to have that grit, have that perseverance to want to just rebuild the community and do something special. That's what I got from my family. But my dad and my mom, they're all employees, which is not a bad route. But it was just, I always had that entrepreneur inside of me. I just didn't have anyone to necessarily around me, my family wise, to really foster that and really help get me my start. So a lot of what I had to learn, and this is just who I am, I just had to learn by experience. And I'm just, I'm just the known in my family to just be just kind of the black sheep of the family, right? Just kind of going my
the crazy
own route.
one.
Yeah, exactly. What you need to be.
I know how it is right here too.
Yes, exactly that. So and understand. So I was the crazy one, but by like becoming an entrepreneur, God has blessed me with other entrepreneurs to surround and support me, and mentors just to pour into me, and that paints the trajectory of my career, and is the only reason why I'm able to be successful today.
Wow. So you've experienced the value of having good mentors pour into you. And I think that you have turned around and become mentors for other people, right? So talk a little bit on both sides of that.
Absolutely. My heart is absolutely into mentorship. And Scott, the reason why I was actually talking to a student, a high school student, who I met through a speaking engagement. It was at Central Ohio Leadership Academy, and it gathers about 35 high school students, typically seniors, that want to make an impact in their community. And they're just amazing, bright young leaders who want to do amazing things in their high schools and beyond. And one of the students just reached out and connected with me, and he was just really inspired by what we were able to teach him, which was how to network and build and grow their network and relationship. And really, the story that we shared just resonated with him. And so we actually had a conversation today, and he asked me a similar question. He said, "Jordan, why are you so passionate about mentorship?" Well, one, I'm passionate about it because I know and I'm grateful for the mentors in my life who were able to give me a hand when I needed it, and were able to bring me alongside to teach me things that I never even knew or imagined, and show me a world that I never even knew existed. And so then that's what showed me the power of networking, the power of mentorship, to be able to speed up the learning lessons that I wanted to learn, and as well as they could teach me by experience. Hey, this is what I did. This is kind of what I went through, and this is how I failed, and this is how I overcame those failures and overcame that adversity. And I can learn from them and can reach out to them when I needed to. And at the same time, Scott, I really needed to find somebody. I wish I had somebody when I was in middle school and high school to just reach out and say, "Jordan, you're going to do something special." And I was in a school and in an environment where I didn't feel like I belonged. I felt alone. I didn't think that I had any friends that I could really go to. I was really struggling. And so I'm thankful for a best friend that I have, and we're actually roommates. I met him I met him in eighth grade, but we became like really good friends and brothers in sophomore year of high school. And I'm so grateful for him. But outside of that, I just needed somebody to just come alongside me and just give me a hug, just to be a friend, just to tell me that everything is going to be okay, that I didn't need to worry about being popular. I didn't need to worry about changing myself to be accepted, to belong somewhere, and just to know that God's got a plan, that I'm going to be successful, that you being different, that you being part of the 1%, that you not following the crowd is actually going to help you in the long run. And that's a beautiful thing. And so I just needed to have somebody in those moments when I was in middle school and high school just come alongside me and mentor me and just to love on me. And so knowing that, I wanted to be able to create a network in an organization and to be that type of person for other people, to lend a hand and to be that person that I needed when I was their age in middle school and high school and beyond.
Wow. Okay. So it's hard for me to imagine you struggling in high school or being somebody who needed that, because you just have this, this air of confidence, and you have a high energy. You are instantly likable. I know, we've been in some stuff together. We on the marketing mastermind on Wednesday mornings. So I've gotten to know you and see you in your natural environment. You don't seem like somebody who ever struggled with anything. You seem like this guy who has everything all put together. So it really makes me curious, like, what was going on in high school? Did you have some kind of transformation? I mean, what happened there?
Honestly, Scott, and by no means, this is one of the things that as a leader, I want to be able to communicate with other people that, yeah, it's taken a lot of growth and development to develop this type of confidence, to have this type of energy. God has absolutely transformed me. And Jesus saved my life. And if it wasn't for him, I would not be where I am today. I would not be the person I am today. And so I just wasn't sure about who I was. as a person. And I absolutely love my family. Absolutely. My parents, my sisters, they have a special place in my heart. However, I felt like in the house that I grew up in, I felt like I had to be a certain type of person. And I had to fit into this box to be loved and accepted, and to just to be worthy in some type of way. And I think your parents always have an idea of who they want you to be, and you always have to kind of just like, I appreciate that, but I'm gonna be who God created me to be. And at first there was a lot of friction. It was just button heads, you know what I mean? And I did a lot of damage in that, and I've had to go back and repair the relationship. But it took me getting outside of, because I went to a small school. I went to, like, from K through 12, I went to the same school. So I was in a bubble. I was in, church bubble, Christian school bubble, Westerville, suburban bubble. I needed to get outside of that bubble to really learn who I am. And it took me moving all the way. So I went to Mount Vernon Nazarene University, and that was a small Christian university as well in the middle of cornfields, which is what I needed. It kept me on the straight and narrow. And so as much as possible. And then I worked at K Jewelers. And so, but what brought me to Mount Vernon was initially to play baseball. And that was it was my dream at the time, but it was also my father's dream for me to play college baseball. And I showed up, and I was trying to get onto the team. I actually got injured, and then my performance was not good at all. So I ended up getting cut from the team. And so very early, when I was in college, I had to make a decision. Either I heal up, get better, and get back on the team, or I get put into the university, get a job, and get in and out of college. And so I'm glad I took that route. So it took me getting a job at K Jewelers to really find this person to get better at building relationships, to work on not mumbling. I remember my assistant manager was like, "Jordan, you mumble, right?" I'm like, "No, I really did not know that, And so I had to work on the enunciation, and this is still something I work on today, to not mumble and to speak clearly. And so it was finding myself in that sales job, selling diamonds, selling gold at 18 years old. And so it took me doing that and finding myself, and really, I just love doing it. I had such a great working family, met great friends that I'm still friends with today. And so it took me doing that at 18 years old. So I was working full time, going to school full time. So that was one piece, right? Okay. Finding that job was a key. And then two, I moved to California. So I went to California, went to San Diego for a semester. And
that was quite a shift.
Oh, yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I knew nobody. And so I had to figure out, who is Jordan Nishizaki? Who do I want to be? Right. And so that was like, I had no friends, no family, no reputation that I had to stand up to. And so I really could have been anybody that I wanted, and no one was holding me to it. And so I really had to learn who I wanted to be. And there's that moment that I really found God, and started developing a personal relationship with him. And I had to make my faith my own. It didn't have to be my family's faith. It didn't have to be just because that's what we did. I always went to church, and that's what my family believed, but it's really what I believe. So is that. And the third piece was traveling the world, God. That was the last thing that really gave me a global perspective. First place I traveled to was Japan, but I went to about 10 different countries, and I traveled there by myself. 14 hours on a plane. I was 20 years old. I just turned 20 years old, and I was traveling solo to Japan. So that's really, I spent a lot of time by myself. So I really had to get used to, like, I had to learn who is myself. And I was in my thoughts, and I was journaling. And so it was traveling the world. It was working at K Jewelers, and it was moving to California, to San Diego, that I really had found myself, who I was, and became confident, and just was like, you know what? I'm going to be who I am. And I don't need anybody else's approval. I'm doing it for Jesus, and I'm doing it for God, and for his approval, for his love. And I don't need anybody else's. I don't need my family's, even though it's important. I didn't need my sisters. I didn't need my friends. And so that is still something I'm working on today. But to answer your question, it was those moments that really changed the trajectory of my life, and getting outside of my bubble, out of my comfort zone, out of, where I grew up, was what really helped me become who I am today.
Yeah. And then moved into, so getting out of bubbles, and really, I think it really comes down to owning who you are, owning your faith, putting up all the, the stuff that you were given from your family, core values, culture, all that stuff, putting that up against scrutiny, and seeing what you identify with and what you don't, and really owning yourself. I think that's something that's so powerful, and a lot of people don't necessarily ever get there. I coach adults, and 30s and 40s somethings, and
Right.
sometimes that's a missing piece. They never did that, right? So I think it's a really great idea. My son's 19, he's over in Europe right now doing something similar. So I encouraged him to do that. I mean, he made his own choice, but I always encourage him. I said, hey, if I could do it again, I might do that.
Oh,
Let's sit there for a second. So you've
Yeah.
been to, you were age 20 and you went to 20 countries. Is that how many you said?
I went to 10 different countries, not all at the same time.
Countries?
I wish so.
Okay. Uh-huh.
So the first place I traveled to was Japan,
Mhm.
and I was there for 2.5 weeks. And that showed me the culture. I
Mhm.
obviously, growing up in Columbus, Westerville, Ohio, there's not a lot of Japanese Americans here. And so
Mhm.
I just knew my family. Actually, I grew up and, I got made fun of for the food that I brought, eating sushi, eating avocado. I mean, things that are just normal today, right?
Yeah,
And
right.
bringing salmon in, like, people are like, ew, that smells disgusting. And so, like, I was fighting, like, bringing something that was natural and part of my culture and just like part of home life that was
Mhm.
not, it was just different, right? And so kids,
Mhm.
anytime that you are something different or they find something different, they pick it out, right? That's just who we are as humans. And so
Yeah.
I'd outgrow the shame of that. And so traveling to Japan, and not only that, but then my family still lives in Seattle, Ohio. No, Seattle, Washington.
Okay.
So my grandma and my uncles, the Japanese side, they all live in Seattle, Washington. And that's like my second home right there. Close to San Diego. That's another place that's close to my heart as well. And so it's times I'd travel to Seattle that I would get a taste of that culture. But when I went to Japan, that's when so many things made sense about who I was,
Mm.
about who my family was, the
Wow.
culture, how I was raised, just as far as anything like how clean it is, the food, how the respect, the honor, just taking your shoes off everywhere. Like, it just,
Mhm.
I felt at home. And
Wow.
it was absolutely amazing. So it was really eye opening. Made lots of
Mhm.
amazing friends on that trip, and so that was the first place. And then being able to then travel after I graduated university. So December 2018 was when I graduated with a finance degree, and then I went on a trip to Southeast Asia for 3 weeks, which I thought
Mhm.
was a really long time. To Americans, anything outside of a week is a long time, but to
Right.
Europeans, they travel for like months on end. They just quit their job and just go travel. I'm like, I wish I did that. Like, I could have totally done that. I could have just started my job and started working in May, when everyone else is starting to work. So I could have traveled from like January until May. In
Mhm.
hindsight, in 2020, I would have done that. But traveling for 2 weeks was amazing. So I went to Thailand, Laos, Vietnam, and Singapore. And then
Wow.
still just amazing friends. A lot of people from the UK. So shout out to all my friends in the UK. Love you guys. You guys are absolutely amazing. And even my friends in South Africa and just all over the world, which is just absolutely amazing. And
Mhm.
so then after that, I worked for a little bit. But then I was like, you know what? This is in 2019. So it's like perfect timing, right? And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go visit them in the UK. So I went to go visit. I booked a trip
Nice.
later that year. So it was like August. And I went to go visit all of them in London. So they showed me around
Mhm.
London. We had a great time. Absolutely loved it. And then I went on and I traveled to Rome, Italy. and then Barcelona, Spain. And
Nice.
after those, that was about all the trips that I went to. Been to Canada, been to Dominican Republic. Our school did like a senior trip to Dominican Republic.
Nice.
So those are the 10 places that I've traveled to, 10 countries that I've traveled to so far. And I'm absolutely looking to get back to international travel. Philippines is on the top of my list. Indonesia with Bali on the top of my list. Found that I have family in Samoa. So I want to visit them,
cool.
New Zealand, Australia, and then eventually back to Europe and Portugal. So got
Nice.
quite a list that I've been building. I'm like, you know what? I now have the opportunity. I just need the money. So working on that. But that's coming quick, and that is opening up doors. So I absolutely love international travel and highly recommend for more and more people to do that, especially as Americans. We get to experience different cultures, and we get to not like, we kind of feel a little entitled sometimes as far as like we think that everyone should be like an American. Everyone should speak English. Everyone should eat our food. Anything outside of that is just ew, disgusting. How could you do this, right? But when you're in a foreign place and you just have a mindset of being curious about different cultures, different foods, and just trying it, you don't have to like it. Just try it. Just have that curiosity, have that adventure side in you. Be open-minded, and oh my goodness, will life and the world show you completely new. And I think that's what really helped me have the mindset of diversity and why I'm so passionate about multicultural business owners and multicultural communities is because of those things right there.
Yeah, I was going to say, it really makes sense that you ended up with a nonprofit like Diverse Networks, and given, you know, the parts of your story, you know, growing up feeling different with, you know, what you brought to school at lunch, and then experiencing all these cultures. And so when it comes to, and I want to touch on something that's a little controversial these days, you know, when it comes to diverse, you know, diverse is a part of your vernacular. Diversity is a big word these days. And you also, you know, tying in, you brought in elements, themes of love and forgiveness versus hate, and, you know, kind of talking about how war, you know, and cultural battles maybe have been impactful in your family. So all of these roots obviously really make sense what you do in your nonprofit, right? But so who better to ask than you when it comes to some of the stuff that's going on in our culture in America, controversial stuff. Why is this stuff controversial? You know, some of it just has a connotation to it. So clear that up from your perspective. You know, what do we need to know?
That's a great question. I don't have all the answers. What I do have is what I wish the world would do more of, is pause, be still, listen to each other, see other people's perspectives, put themselves in their shoes, and understand where they're coming from. If we can do that more often and come from a place of love, that you're another human being, that it doesn't matter what color you are, what ethnicity you are, what age you are, where you came from, where you grew up, how much money you have. It doesn't matter about any of that. The fact is, you're another human being that God created for a specific purpose, and that there's an enemy that is out there that wants to steal, kill, and destroy. And he will do anything to divide and conquer. Because why? Because we're so much easier to control when we're fighting each other. And when we don't understand that we have one common enemy and one common God that loves us, that sent his only son to die for you and me, despite all the messed up stuff that I do. That he created us for a purpose, that we are worthy, that we matter, that we're not here on this earth on accident. And we also have no idea when we're going to leave this earth. It makes you operate a little bit differently. And it makes you come at it from a place of love and understanding, and to just see each other as for who they are, and that their differences actually make them a better person. And just because it's something that's different than you, that's unique, that you don't understand, shouldn't be something that you shy away from, or that you shun, or that you shame. Rather, if you invite them in and have a conversation, we're talking so much. We're preaching to each other. We're not listening enough. You're wrong, I'm right. You're Democrat, I'm Republican, or I'm Democrat and you're Republican. And it doesn't matter. You can go round and round and round in circles with whatever it is. And we're all it's all hate. It's all entitlement. It's all ego. It's all pride. And if we just swallow all that and have a little bit of humility, it would go a long way. And if we can just find ways to just love on each other because God loves us first, that would solve a ton of these problems. But the people that operate this world want that. They want us fighting against each other. They want us pinning each other. And, because you support this group, that means you dislike the other group. And it's like, no, can I just love people? And it doesn't matter what you're involved in. Cool. I just want to love you as a person. I just want to be more like Jesus. He was hanging out with sinners, with prostitutes, with tax collectors, with people who just were on the outside, lepers, people with diseases. He was that dude, and he loved on them. And people hated on him for that. So much so that they killed him. And so the fact that he defeated death, that we have nothing to fear, that we can just look at all that in its eyes and listen, I just want to love you because God loved me first. And I just want to pour that and give that to you. I think that would solve a lot of these issues. And so when you think about diversity, it means a lot of things to a lot of people. And it's gone crazy. It's gone crazy. The way the church sometimes talks about diversity, the way that corporate talks about diversity, I wish that it didn't go the way that it went, because I feel like people are missing the point. And here's another thing. When people hear diversity, it means different things to different people. And what I hated about diversity, it feels like it makes some people feel like they're part of the problem. And that is not the thing. And when I'm building and growing diverse network, a lot of people are like, Jordan, I'm not diverse. So can I still be part of it? Can I still get involved in this? I'm like, first of all, you are, because we all have a different thing about us, right? Whether it's age, whether it's culture, whether it's status of economy status. And, so whatever environment that you're raised in, because you're specifically born at this time, in that place, in that environment, with those friends, with those family, that specifically makes you diverse. We're all one of one, but we all want to be part of a bigger something. That's something that God created us, a desire inside of us to belong, to be part of a community, to be accepted, to be loved. And that's why we're all trying to find our community, right? Because we all don't want to feel that we're isolated and alone, that we're the only one going through this. And so when we're talking about diversity, when we're talking about these controversial topics, I just want people to listen more. I want people to understand more. I want people to love more. And if we do those things more often, God, I just think that the issues that we have wouldn't be what it is today.
Sure. Yeah, that's well said. Good advice. I'm trying to define the problem. I like the thing you said about, there was a lot there that you said I like, but that's a solution to a problem, and I'm trying to define the problem. And if I articulate it this way, I want to see what your thoughts are. It almost seems like the problem that your solution just addressed is there is an enemy. There's also the opposite of enemy, friend. There's God. There's and those two camps are essentially in one way of looking at it. One is crazy about humanity, loves humanity. One hates and despises humanity. And it seems like when we look at, you mentioned there's people that hate people. It's almost like, when you try to define the sides, I don't see it so much as any of those other factors, skin color or socioeconomic status. I see it more as almost like if we had to divide it in a black and white form, it almost seems like some are pro-humanity, pro-human, like you love people. You want to build communities and networks of people, diverse, yes, but just people that, you see, you carry forward the love of God for those people. And then there's another set of society that seems like it just wants to destroy people in so many ways. And sometimes I think those people think that they're crusaders, but if you look at what they're doing, if the fruit of the tree is the best indicator of what kind of tree it is, they're destroying anything human. So what are your thoughts?
I couldn't agree more. And if you just look at it, it's good versus evil. It's love versus hate. Mm-hmm. And like what you said, it's pro-human versus I want the world to burn. Mm-hmm. And that's the difference between God and Satan. That's it. It boils down to just that.
Yeah.
And so, yes, there are sides. That is the side. Everything else, it doesn't matter. It doesn't. Mm-hmm. So you look at wars. So who is the author of wars? I'll tell you, it's definitely not God. Right. And so you start to see, okay, what does war do? Right? It destroys the world, destroys humanity, destroys everything in its way. Right? And then you look at life. You look at the birth of a human being. It's an exciting moment. It's something that's absolutely beautiful. It doesn't even have to be a human being. You look at life. You look at creation. You look at animals. It doesn't matter what it is. Like anything that is breathing, that has life, it's beautiful. And it operates in a way that doesn't make any sense to human beings. We're still discovering everything on this world, everything that's on this earth. We're still trying to figure out how life works and operates. And that's the beauty of science, because we get to discover how God created all this. And so if you just look at like what you said, the fruits of everything, and you look at what brings life, and that's creation, and we are his best creation. And then you look at the opposite of that, of death and destruction, which the devil comes to steal, kill, and destroy, but Jesus comes to give us life. Like that's the difference right there. Death versus life. But a lot of people operate in fear, right? That's why COVID and the pandemic was so big, because we were all, we didn't know what it was. It was uncertainty. It was fear. We were all scared, which again, that's all understandable. That's all human feelings. But guess what? We have nothing to be scared of. We have nothing to fear. Jesus defeated death. And so because of that, what I believed, I believed in the lies that would make me a king in society when I didn't realize there was a king that already lived inside of me. And so once I did, that's what changed it for me. And so by operating in that way, like, listen, like I have the same spirit that lives inside of me that raised Jesus from the dead. That's powerful. And and every person that believes in Jesus, that he came and died for us, like we have that spirit inside of us. The Holy Spirit exists and it's alive and it's moving in ways that we never even thought or imagined. So we have nothing to be scared of. And so again, the way I'm speaking right now, this has just been a journey. You're seeing a product that has been just in development that God has just been working on for years of my life. If we would have had this conversation back in high school, college, a couple of years ago, I would not be speaking like this. Like this is to me, but I'm so passionate about it because Jesus changed my life. And I want others to feel the same way that I feel. And if they're operating in fear and if they're scared, if they're like, don't know what's next for their life and that, like life is uncertain, I get that. But trust me, as an entrepreneur, I totally get that. I don't know where the next paycheck is going to come from, but guess what? God is going to provide. And I have to have the faith in him to do that. And I have to trust in him completely and surrender my will in order to tap into that. And so that's when you think about the world, that's just what it boils down to. But as believers, we have nothing to be scared of.
That's good. Well, good. Amen to all that. You obviously speak with conviction, and that's really cool. I think that's powerful. That all adds up to, I get why you started Diverse Networks. I get why you have a passion for building that community and helping younger people get connected, mentoring them. All right, so let's go into, and we'll wrap up with Executive Creators. So you're a for-profit business, and obviously my audience that I assume is listening most of the time to this podcast is business owners. And I think what you have is when I've heard about your offer, your service that you do with Executive Creators, I was like, oh my gosh, that's brilliant. I think it's a really great way to solve a problem that, a small business owner, solo entrepreneur, somebody starting out in business, like there's so much in the, video creation and digital space that can be confusing and just hard, frankly, unless you're like born for the stage. Most of us aren't. You could use some help with that. So yeah, what is that? And then we'll end up with how people can get a hold of you, but build out that Executive Creators. What's that all about?
Absolutely. So Executive Creators is a content marketing agency that helps business owners tell their story through videos. And like I said, I don't know if anyone out there has tried editing a video, but it's painful at the very beginning. There's a very few people that love editing and they're great at it. And I'm telling you, they're making a killing in the world right now because they are so talented, and they like their services are needed everywhere. Everyone's trying to create a video, right? But it's so challenging to make a professional looking video by yourself. I cannot do it by myself. I have a full team of people. I have a team of videographers, creators. I have a marketing team that helps out create the marketing plans and then also get the videos in front of people and can do paid advertising campaigns. I'll then have video editors and graphic designers. So having this full team of people behind me really helps deliver an amazing solution. And guess what, Scott? The best thing is there's a lot of people that just don't like social media. I get that. Trust me, I'm there. I consume way too much. My challenge to myself is how can I create more than I consume? And so that's one of the biggest things that I've been trying to help people with is like, hey, you have an amazing product, amazing service. Like you as a business owner, you're great at your craft, but trying to be great at everything makes you great at nothing. And so let me get you doing the thing that you're great at, where you can be your authentic self and show people. My favorite is I have two examples. One is a company called Dynamic Agility Sports, and they have multi-sport camps for kids. And the business owner, like he's like, I hate social media. I hate taking videos of myself. I'm out here trying to coach kids, and the video's like going in the wrong direction, looking at the sky, and it's like, I can't do both. Yeah, like, perfect. That's what I'm here for. You get to focus on your craft, coaching the kids. I tell you, kids make amazing content. They're the darnest. They say the greatest things. Like they're the best. And so just to be able to be there with the cameras, to be able to capture what's going on and to tell that story has just been an absolute blessing. It's like, that's why I'm working with Executive Creators, is to be able to do all that and handle it for him completely. So give him a first class experience. We take that off of his plate. And guess what? He has thousands of kids at his camp, all by the all by the way of word of mouth. Word of mouth marketing is probably the best marketing. Can't replace that. But what you can do is the second form, which is through videos and social media. That, I believe, is probably the best return on your investment. So at the end of the day, that is what we're here for. The second example is a roofing company that we worked with. And just to be able to capture, we had drones that we were able to kind of hover and capture the whole process of them, taking off the roof, putting on the tarp, putting on all the new shingles. It was just amazing process. But that's just a perspective that people don't usually get. And it's super satisfying to watch. So I love anyone that's in the trade industry. They have amazing HVAC, contractors, custom home building, plumbers, electricians that are great at their craft, but not necessarily great at the whole marketing, videos, growing your business and scaling your business. And so that's what we are here for, to help those business owners out with that and to handle their marketing so that they don't have to worry about it, right? And it helps deliver a return on their investment because they get to get their story in front of their target audience to get new customers. And so by doing that, by putting these video out there and allowing new customers to see who they are as a business and to be able to work with them, that's what gives them a giant return on investment, something that's greater than the stock market. I mean, we've had returns of over 10x returns. And so that's 1,000%, right? So it's just insane with what videos can do when you do it right. And it takes a lot to do it right. So if that is you, if you've been interested on wanting to see, hey, Jordan, well, I'm here in Columbus, Ohio. I'm also willing to travel. And I have editors as well globally. And so if there's anything that you can do that you're like, hey, I'm editing these videos. I don't know how to make it look professional. I don't know how to create the same videos that I see on Instagram or on TikTok or on YouTube, whatever it may be. Please reach out to me, Jordan Nishizaki. You can reach out to me via Instagram or via LinkedIn or even email at jordan.nishizaki@gmail.com. It's my personal email. But you can also connect with us on Instagram through Executive Creators. So it's executive.creators. We're just launching our Instagram profile. We don't have anything posted yet, but come September, we're starting to post all of our projects that we've been working on over the past couple months. So excited to be able to show that and really just help business owners tell their story through videos and give them a return on their investment.
Awesome. So it sounds like as you're talking about the roofer, I was imagining, a quality commercial that I've seen on TV of some kind of service professional. Is that kind of the end product that that someone like that might be able to get?
Absolutely. We can create commercials that can go on TVs. We can handle social media. People go onto their Instagram, TikTok, YouTube channels, and it's professional looking videos. We focus on getting engagement. So, hey, people to reach out, messaging you, commenting, liking your post, sharing your post. And that's really what we focus on, is just the engagement piece. But we can 100% create an amazing looking commercial. I have just the best team of creatives here in Columbus, Ohio, which I will take with me anywhere. They're willing to travel with me anywhere in the world, really. Like, as long as you just pay for pick up the plane ticket, we'll be there. So we can create just amazing videos that help get your story out there and be able to tell it in a very unique way. So we have a team of people that are passionate about doing that and have the skills and expertise to be able to just create an amazing video.
Okay, so yeah, that answered part of the question, and I was wondering what do you do with the video? Because it sounds like you can take existing video and make it nice with some editing, make it at least better than it was. If depending on how good the quality was before, that's probably the output, right? But yeah, okay. So once you have a video or two or three or whatever, you can put it on YouTube, you can do stuff with it. And you help with the engagement on that. And that's where I think this is something that really intrigues me, because I've had videos and put them up and not known, it's like crickets. What do you do with this? Right. I think that's where I get stuck. So, do you have like some tips? Like, is there something that like advice there?
Absolutely. It depends on the platform that you're posting on, but it starts with a marketing plan and marketing strategy. If you don't have that, I highly recommend getting that, because if you're just trying to post videos, it's kind of like a shotgun approach. You're trying to just throw stuff on the wall and seeing what sticks. You're like, I don't know what's working. And I spend all these hours editing these videos and I don't get any return on it. I get like 10 views, 100 views, whatever it may be. And you're like, this is just not worth it. Well, one, being able to have a marketing plan and strategy, identifying who your target audience is, their interests, being able to nail down the avatar, the character of it. If you have it, that's great. That's even better. You're way ahead. But then we are able to then reverse engineer, like, hey, okay, so what is the hook that you're going to start out with? What is the story that you're going to tell? And then what is the call to action or offer that you're going to leave them with, right? So that's one version of videos that you can create, but really it's identifying the target audience, highlighting their pain points, giving them a solution, and evoking emotion, then help them create action, right? If you follow that template, that's really what you can do through these videos. And they want to be able to say, wow, they get me. That is me. That is my problem. I didn't know that solution existed. I'm going to reach out right now because I need to reach out to Scott, because he has a solution. I've been not having success in my business. My marriage is kind of falling apart. I don't know what's going on. I want to have a successful marriage. I want to have a successful business. And it feels like I can't do all that together all at one time. And so to be able to then craft a video that speaks directly to that person and like, you know what, I need to follow Scott for more content, for more tips and for more tricks that you're putting out there, some value that you're giving, right? Give value and it will come back in return. And then eventually, once you have them in the funnel or once they are following you and they reach out to you, connect with you, book an appointment, whatever it may be, that's when you're able to capture more and more people. And so having a strategy, knowing who your target audience is, speaking directly to their pain points, delivering your solution, helping them create action, whether it's follow you for more content or book an appointment, which a lot of people do want to do, like just follow you for more content and then just seeing all the tips that you're putting out there. And so specifically, that's kind of the strategy piece. For the platform piece, sticking to short videos, 15-second videos, 20-second, 30-second videos. It depends on what type of video that you're creating would be how long the video that you want to post out. Don't do any, like, it feels like anything between 45 and 60 seconds now is like a movie. To keep it short, keep it simple, right? Be very effective, have high energy, but then also tailor your videos to your audience, and all the way down to the music that you have, the background that you have, right? And the lighting and everything speaks directly. So if I'm here in the studio, but I'm talking directly to roofers and to plumbers and to anyone in the trade industry, they're like, Jordan just does not get it. However, if I'm in, a bathroom or if I'm on top of a roof, I'm trying to take a video as I'm doing the work, they're like, yes, that's my problem. That is literally me in a video. Yes, I get that. And so to be able to show them, hey, this is what we can do. This is what you do on your own, like do it yourself, versus you have a team of people, of professionals, the best creatives to be able to create and take your video and do something amazing with it. So those are some examples. Always think about who your audience is. Always think like what your brand sounds like and being able to resonate with your target audience and then give them something, whether it's a free download or follow for more content, give them an action to take, and then that they will then follow suit. So those are what would be my recommendations when creating content that attracts your clients.
Well, unfortunately, we're out of time, but I have so many questions I want to keep asking you. So I'm going to have to book a call. And if you're like me and you want to do that, the links are all in the show notes here. But Jordan's available on Instagram. So you have the Executive Creators Instagram, you got the Jordan Nishizaki Instagram. And then you mentioned you gave an email address. Go ahead and give that again.
Yeah. Reach out to me at jordan.nishizaki, NISHIZAKI @gmail.com. I also have a link tree out there. It's attached to my Instagram page. And so click on that. I forget exactly what the exact link tree is, but it ends with
I'll get it in the show notes.
Yes. That'd be great. That's easy. You can get all the links right there. It takes you to one place. You can get my contact information if you want to text or call me. My lines of communication are open. I also have a link to my calendar that you can book an appointment directly with. But I just love hearing business owner stories. So I'm not going to be super salesy. I really just want to build a relationship. I want to be able to give people value and tips on how they can either do it themselves. But if you're like, hey, this is not getting a return on my investment, we can definitely help with that and be able to then just deliver that to you and help you grow and scale your business.
Well, here's what I plan to talk to you about when I book my call with you, Jordan. So I've got all of these videos. I got lots and lots and lots of videos on LinkedIn. I got into this, world earlier this year, and I'm like, okay, I'm just going, and we've been blasting LinkedIn, and we're getting nothing, crickets. Really? And I look at these videos, I'm like, oh, they're pretty good. I'm not doing the editing, but when I get them back from the editor, I'm like, oh, these are pretty cool, but the engagement is not happening. I think you mentioned short videos like on YouTube or Instagram. I think I could probably benefit from that. So anyways, just setting up the call. That's what we'll be talking about when I get a hold of you. But if you're like me and you have some similar problems, or you want to get in the video, skip ahead to the solution and save the 6 months of heartache I've been going through and go straight to Jordan. Jordan.nishizaki@gmail.com, and we'll put the link tree in the show notes and all the Instagram stuff there. But Jordan, I really appreciate it, man. We got to talk about some deep stuff, and we went down a rabbit trail that I've been wanting to go down with somebody for a while. So thank you for doing that with me. That was some good stuff. Really totally random for the show, but I loved it. It was so good. So I appreciate it. Anything else you want to leave people with before I let you go?
No, I just want to say thank you, Scott, again, for giving me the platform. And I just want people to feel loved. And so I know that we live in a world where you feel isolated and alone. So if you're looking for a community of people that you can benefit from, that you can learn from, definitely reach out. I know Scott is a great person, can help out with you and your business. And reach out to me. You have people out here willing to talk, willing to help you build community, really able to help you build your network. And so that's something that will always give you a return that will never be able to be taken from you. And it's just a blessing. So build that community, love Jesus, love God, love people, right? And be able to just live in your purpose, live in your passion, and be who you are. Don't change for nothing. You're one of one. You're unique. So no one else can be Scott Landis. No one else can be Jordan Nishizaki. So be who you are. Don't allow anyone to change that, and you're going to thrive in life. So thank you so much, Scott, for giving me the platform to share my story. And hopefully we are able to inspire others to do it themselves as well.
Amen. Thanks so much, Jordan. Thanks for listening to the Awakened Life podcast. I've been your host, Scott Landis. Hey, are you feeling overwhelmed and stressed out? It could be that you're out of balance or have a misalignment of your time and priorities. This month at Awakened Life Academy, we're featuring the Total Freedom Life Wheel exercise designed to help you uncover what might be off balance in your work, life, and other priorities. And then it helps you realign your priorities to your purpose. Check out the full training video and free download at wheel.awakenlife.com. That's wheel.awakenedlife.com for free access. Don't put this personal growth opportunity off. Go get it now and start to experience the freedom that balance can bring to your life. Go to wheel.awakenlife.com.